Y'all, listen, I'm really excited to do this video. I decided to sit in my car and do this video while I eat my lunch for the day. Before I get started, if you are new here, my name is Paris Smith, and I was able to retire myself from the 9-to-5 at 24 years old. I fired my boss. He had to go. And I was able to do that through trading in the stock market. Let me try to open up my Chipotle bowl. The strategy that I trade is a really cool, unique strategy that not a lot of people know about. I only trade once a week on Mondays, and it takes me about like 30 seconds, but if you are a beginner, it takes about 3 minutes or so. And there's no day trading, there's no reading charts. I simply trade off of fundamentals. So if you think that you cannot learn how to trade or make a consistent income without charts, I'm gonna need you to tune on in, okay? I'm gonna need you to tune in. And so the income that I make every single week is consistent. So if I'm making, let's say, $1,000, which when I first started trading, I was making $1,000 per month. You're gonna make the $1,000 every single month. All you gotta do is press the button. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. I just want to say, like, when I first started trading, most people would have never believed that I would be a millionaire. I was in special education. I was taking classes with the autistic kids. Now, I was just a little different. I'm not going to lie. I was painfully shy. I'm not going to lie. I was painfully shy, and I also couldn't learn. So I did have a very severe learning disability. I didn't learn how to write or anything like that until I was in the 5th grade. I was 10 when I learned how to actually write a sentence on paper. It was a crazy journey, okay? It was a crazy, crazy journey. But yeah, I wouldn't have thought right now that I would be a multimillionaire through my investments, through all types of things that I'm doing right now, just my income, period, right? Because of my challenges in school. Now, I'm gonna just say this right now. The story has flipped. Okay? The story has flipped. Okay? So, in this video, I'm just gonna share that with you guys. I'm gonna share with you how I was just counted out by teachers, adults, okay, adults. I was counted out by the students, just everyone, because I was this slow little girl that didn't understand nothing. And so how I went from being counted the heck out to cashing the heck in. Okay, so stay tuned, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I was able to do it, the exact strategy that made it happen for me and all that good stuff. But anyways, so I mentioned briefly that I was in special ed, some of my classes. It wasn't every year in school, in elementary. It wasn't every year like in a special ed class, but I would have like additional classes outside of my like main classes, and it was like, you know, in special ed. After school classes, it was just a lot. It was just, and the fact that my mama, she didn't even know that they had us in special ed. I told her when I was older that I was in the class with the autistic kids, and she was like, what? Now, my mom was a little crazy. She was a little gangster, and we did get banned from the school, and she was banned from coming into the school and all kinds of stuff because they were mistreating us. We were low-key abused in them schools by the teachers, and because we just couldn't learn, and they would humiliate us. And when I say us, I mean my twin sister and I, because we both was in the same class, and we both struggled with a learning disability. But when I say my sister's story has flipped as well, she is a D2 student. She got 2 more years, and she will be a doctor of dental surgery. So look, listen to me. Listen to me. Your current circumstance will not be your final destination. It will not. But anyways, let's fast forward it a bit. Okay, young adult 18. So young adult 18, I was going through it. Okay, I was going through it. Not only, you know, the whole learning disability, struggling through school, but I also was diagnosed as a kid with juvenile type 1 diabetes. So I got my insulin pump. Y'all could probably hear it clicking because I just took insulin. But I struggled with my type 1 diabetes and working my 9 to 5. But y'all already know. I don't even have to explain to y'all how the 9 to 5 is these days. It's a lot. Now, some people love their jobs. But as for me, I love my job. But I could not stand corporate America. Could not do it. And it was just a lot of things going on at the time. But when that was like my motivating factor to actually learn how to make an additional income in the market, you know, paycheck to paycheck, you broke, but you spending all this time at a job that's not paying you like that. It sucked. So I found this trading strategy, and I learned that you don't need charts. Because first of all, who's about to sit there and learn them charts and learn them 50 million indicators? Who about to do that? And then you already struggle to learn. People, the average person don't even understand how to day trade. The average person don't even understand how to read charts. How did I expect to learn how to do it too? So I had a lot of fears and stuff like that. But anyways, when I learned about this trading strategy, I didn't have to use charts or anything like that. I dove all the way in. Then I learned that I could trade and make a reliable income, so it's like low risk. But anyways, so fast forward, started my journey on learning how to trade this strategy. And what I did was I searched on YouTube. I did. And I searched all over Google and stuff like that too, because not a lot of people know about this strategy. And especially 10 years ago, no information was online about it. And so I had to literally piece things together from looking at different articles on trading, YouTube, and it was only a handful of people that was trading, but it was just like piecing things together. Then I had to learn about the stock market and how it operates and work, and that part too was like, what the heck? But I'm not gonna lie, I saw a way out of my 9 to 5, and remember that was like that factor that pushed me to study, the factor that pushed me to learn. And so I just want y'all to know, if you're new here, it's just a matter of time, okay? If you are one of my current students, first of all, I want you to put in the chat, hey, Coach P. I want you to put that in the chat. But secondly, I wanted to let you know, it's just a matter of time. Now, if I could have this learning disability and struggle my way through understanding how to trade and make this income consistently, it took me years to understand and to pick it up and run with it, because it took me so long to just understand. And my thing is, having some sort of learning disability can be a blessing, because me right now, doesn't matter what I'm learning. If it's something that's difficult, I don't understand what in the world it is, I'm going to start learning, and I'm going deep with it, and I become really obsessed with it. And then once I become obsessed with it, I see results from it. Once I see results from it, that's it. I'm gonna keep going. So it is a huge blessing in disguise to have, to grow up with this learning disability. And I don't even think I have it anymore, just because I understand my learning style and all those things. So if you are someone that doesn't have any type of learning disability, I just want you to know you can pick up this strategy real quick and run the heck with it. And look, and if you do want to learn about the trading strategy, I am having a free masterclass that's coming up. The link is in the description to register for that. But it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Like, if I would have told myself, if I would have seen this for myself when I was younger, even a young adult, I would be like, baby, you okay? You okay, babe? Because But anyway, so let me get into the actual strategy let me get into the actual strategy. So the strategy is this. A lot of people, so I'm gonna break down the difference between what you guys normally know, trading in the stock market, and how this is different. So trading in the stock market, there's day trading, there's option trading, there's different types of options trading, like scalping, or when you're in and out of trades real fast. Then you have swing trading, where you may hold it for a day or two, but you in and out, and then you have to use charts and all that to determine when to get in, determine when to get out, just like for scalping trading. There's so many different types of trading, and those types of trading a lot of people know about. But on this, what makes this strategy different, the strategy that allowed me to become a multi-millionaire, okay? When I say trading stocks was the catalyst, okay? You're owning the shares. So you own actual stock. And so all you're doing is you're trading against the stocks that you own, and doing that, you make a consistent income. So the income, when I say it's consistent, there is something called a premium, and the premium have a range. So once you find your stock and all that good stuff, and you're like, all right, this is stock right here. I love the company. I love the products. I love the CEO. I like the revenue, all the things, right? And you're like, this is the company I want to start trading to make my income, my consistent income. Well, the premium have a range. Once you start trading it consistently, you'll pick it up. There is a range. So if you're making, let's say, $1,200 per week, I will give you an example. One of my trading accounts that I'm bringing you guys on a journey on, I call it my play account. This week I've done 1,400, was it 1,435? I gotta go look at my trading journal, but I think it was like 1,435 or something like that. And then last week it was 1,466. So you will notice that there's a range. If you're making 1,400, baby, it's gonna be in the 1,400, okay? Unless you up the amount of shares that you're trading. That's the only difference. That's, when you'll see an increase in your income. Something like that. But anyway, that's pretty much how it works. And so I always stress that there's no need for charts or anything or day trading, and I'm gonna tell you why. If you pick a stock that is fundamentally really, really strong, you don't have to worry about like looking at charts and stuff like that, because this strategy is for the low risk type of shares anyway. So we're picking shares that's on the low risk side, and then where it has the fundamentals, a stock that doesn't move that much. We good. We just gonna keep trading. We own the shares, and we just gonna keep trading it. So these stocks are really good for like stocks that you plan on investing in for the long term. Now you can trade this strategy on any stock. If you could trade options, you could trade this strategy on any stock. It doesn't really matter. But I like to trade low risk. I'm not doing the risky stuff. And I like low risk trades. I like to know how much I'm making, and so I know that these bills gonna get paid. Especially when I first got started, I was like, I'm making the same amount every single week. And at the time, it was like a very small range. $10, $20. But it was a very small range. It was so cool. It was my first stock that I ever traded, was AMD. And I was like, I could pay my bills with this. And that was my plan. So once I saw that it was coming in, I ended up putting together my Freedom Day plan. And I told myself in 3 years, July 2nd, 2021, I'm going to fire my boss. And that's exactly what I did. I put together the plan. I started trading. Was very consistent with it. Within 6 months, I was producing 6 figures in income. So it was like my annual income, 6 figures. I was like, yo, I'm going to keep going. And so when I think about being a child or a young adult, teenager, when I think about what I was going through then and how the story has been flipped, it gives me chills. Who would have thought? And so, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. I gave my friends an opportunity to learn. I gave my family an opportunity to learn. I retired my mom, and she's 52 now. And she's retired. She don't have to worry about no bills, nothing, no debts. All that's getting paid off, nothing. And now it's like I want to share the strategy with the world. There's no reason for any of us to live in lack, any of us to, simply live in lack. Because of the fact that anyone can trade the strategy and it's at all of our fingertips. So, that's what we do here. I share the strategy. I give tips on the strategy. I also vlog and, share my day-to-day life as someone who's retired in her 20s. It's been 4 years since I retired myself from the 9 to 5. I was 24. I'm 28 now. And it has been I have been living a vacation every single day.